Let's start off with Mac Jones. He's looked really good in the absence of Brock Purdy, 21 plus points in 2 of 3 starts. He had over 22 points last week against the Rams, and all of his best pass catchers were out. So while Brock Purdy is on the sidelines, Mac Jones is worth a look in fantasy leagues. The same goes for Michael Carter. Now, the big question last week in Arizona's backfield was who would be the starter? Well, it was Carter, who led the backfield in touches and fantasy points ahead of Amari DiMercado. I'd pick him up this week with 2 teams on a bye. Michael Carter will have flex value in week 6. Moving on to Hassan Haskins, and there was a big blow in the Los Angeles backfield last week. Omarion Hampton injured his ankle. He's been placed on injured reserve, which means it's going to be Haskins and Kamani Vidal who will share the workload for the Chargers. Both players should be added off the waiver wire, but Haskins will be the player that I'm targeting first in Los Angeles. Another running back to target off the waiver wire is Kendre Miller, and I've told you to pick him up for a couple of weeks now because his touches and his snaps are going up while Alvin Kamara's fantasy production is going down. And while I think Kamara could get traded at the deadline, that would make Kendre Miller the starter for the Saints in the second half of the season. So Kendre Miller is worth a speculative add. I'd also go out and add Tajay Spears. He came back last week for the first time all year, and I get it. The numbers were not great, but he'll slowly see more snaps and see more touches in a Titans offense that desperately needs playmakers. So while he won't usurp Tony Pollard, Spears is certainly worth a look off the waiver wire. At wide receiver, how about Trey Tucker? He was one of my favorite week 5 streamers, and he had a good game, over 11 fantasy points against the Colts. And remember, Brock Bowers is banged up, and that could mean more opportunities for Trey Tucker moving forward in a Las Vegas offense that is probably going to have to throw the ball a lot in order to eliminate deficits. Another wide receiver to go out and get is Torrey Horton. He's quietly been really good as a rookie, 11 plus points in 3 of his last 5 games, and in all 3 of those games, he has scored a touchdown. Now, while I like to see his snap counts rise, I think that will come with time, and the Seahawks offense has actually looked really good under Sam Darnold, so grab Torrey Horton. And then finally, Jake Tonges. With George Kittle out of action, Tonges has been very good from a fantasy perspective. Last week, over 17 fantasy points, double-digit targets, and Kittle is expected to be out at least 1 or 2 more games, which means Tonges could be a startable asset this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.